Home Bangers. I'm Matty.
Hello. I'm,
I'm John.
Colin, you're welcome back. You're looking fine considering.
yeah, that's it. Could have been worse. Could have been worse, but no, it was good. I was just to clear up the rumours. And John, if you're listening, I'm all right. I had never had dysentery in the
Yeah.
end. I was just on holiday.
Where were you, Colin? Do you want to share that with us?
Aye. I was in New York and then Toronto.
Very nice.
5 days in each. Well, last night in Niagara, that was nice. That is a wee bit like Blackpool, where I thought waterfall, but one night's enough. It's really nice.
I fucking hate Blackpool. I'm sure we've spoken about that before.
It's a wee bit better than Blackpool. I didn't like Blackpool either, but
Aye.
it's nicer.
Blackpool has like the one nice bit, and then just everything else is poverty, isn't it? Like that's how it looks. Anyway, like you kind of go off the main street, and then it's just
What's the nice
poverty.
bit? The main street.
And nice is like kind of doing a lot of heavy lifting there. Like we stayed there one time, and that 999 What's Your Emergency was on, and it was at the street next to us, next to the B&B. It's like that's just that is next to us. That's Blackpool. John, how are you doing?
I'm all right. Thank you. Thank you for asking. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Chris, good evening, lads. Evening, Chris. So, Chris, and I think it was Jeremiah's taps. I hope I'm not giving too much away there, Chris, and not getting you into trouble with anybody. But you were sitting in the window seat, so sorry as I was heading down towards the stadium yesterday. Me says midfield looks weak without Nectar. Anyone else worried about Thursday? Well, we will come on to that. Kenny said, evening, the Three Musketeers. Good evening, Kenny. And Stevie said, evening, troops. Good to see Colin back after his fortnight on the toilet. How did Hibs play yesterday? From what I've heard, it wasn't the best. Ian said, was I? And Chris said, not quite sure what to make of yesterday. If anything, I'd probably have wanted to see more intensity. So we'll probably kick off with yesterday. Now, in true pre-season fashion, Colin, you ignored it altogether, didn't you?
Yes. I don't do pre-season. Even though they were trying to pretend it was a testimonial. I didn't do it. But my daughter had a game as well, but I probably wouldn't have done it, even if she wasn't playing. She played at 3 o'clock yesterday, which I think was later than the game.
It
I
was
think
a
the
2
game,
o'clock kick-off at Easter Road,
I
but
seen my messages
crossover.
started to go a bit earlier, and I thought, oh, it must be a 2 o'clock kickoff. That was when I realised. So no, I didn't. You know what? I know the score. That's it.
And John, you also patched it yesterday as well, didn't you?
I don't know about patched it. I was otherwise engaged looking after my children.
That counts as patching it.
Aye, I suppose. I would have loved to have gone,
At least you
but
never called it
unfortunately I couldn't
babysitting.
make it.
You ever get in trouble for saying babysitting when it's your own
Colin,
kids?
When
honestly,
it's your own kids, aye.
we were invited by Whiskey Craig to meet him and Greg from Leith Spirits for a drink in town. I had to say to him, I can't because and I was like, fuck, how do I describe this? Because I'm not babysitting, like they're my parents. I'm not looking after someone else's. So no, I said, I think I said I was picking up parenting duties. Well, my missus was out.
Nice way to say it. Yeah.
Aye.
You can say it to the boys though, it's just you can't say it to the wife.
Aye.
Can't say babysitting when she's in earshot.
And our female listeners would probably, and possibly our male listeners actually, we've got a lot of hands-on male parents as well. So I wouldn't want to describe it as babysitting and get ourselves cancelled or get myself cancelled. No, you two would be fine.
Imagine that was the thing that got us cancelled after everything else.
Mm.
I did kind of frustrating. It's just going down. It's going down on my screen. So apologies if you can still comment on YouTube. Let us know if you can still see us. But it looks like it's gone down on my side. But
do you think in that sort of scenario, if it was to call something babysitting, to call parenting babysitting, do you think we would get ourselves on Mumsnet? Do you think we would get some infamy over there?
aye, well, I've never been on Mumsnet, so I'm going to say yes. I've got the stream working again, by the way.
And it's working on my phone. I just
Aye, it was just weird. I just said something went wrong, and then I just refreshed it, and it was fine. Right. Well, I'm quite glad you two never saw the game yesterday because it means that we will keep a lid on reaction to it. I think that perspective, and that it was so unimportant in terms of the result that you two didn't even bother with it, right? For different reasons, right? Both involving your kids.
parent duties. Yeah.
Parent duties, yeah. Right. I was also on parent duties, but I just had my laddie with me, and he's an adult, so it was easier. So I went along the game, and I thought the team looked decent. Right? I'm not sure kind of what you would learn for the team. fairly strong. So Smith started in goals. We had Rocky, Iredale, and O'Hora. The back three: Chris Cadden, Nicky Cadden, either side. Midfield three of Levitt, Mulligan, and McGrath, and Boyle and Bowie up front, or Bowie. One of the two of them was up front. So a fairly strong starting 11, you would say, John.
Yeah, when I despite the parenting duties yesterday, I did keep an eye on the team lineup. It was announced that I had a look at it and I thought to myself that it was a legitimate starting 11. It's a starting 11 that you would maybe expect to see on Thursday or at the start of the league campaign. Obviously, I think with having signed Cliche, you would maybe expect him to start up front. But other than that, it was a normal starting 11.
Sounds pretty strong like that. If that was the team on Thursday, you wouldn't be surprised.
Nah, I was thinking that, like, coming away for the game night, because obviously it was a disappointing game night. I mean, I think we had one shot in the first half that went wide. In the second half, the closest we came was Hoylett rattling the bar, which, by the way, would have been a goal that was worth the £10 ticket price if it had gone in. And I was like, what's missing? Because the defence isn't that's no different for last season. Really, you would maybe argue the toss you would have Lewis Miller in instead of O'Hora. And then the only other positions really that you would be arguing about would be a beater maybe for Nicky Cadden, but I think Nicky Cadden would start ahead of a beater most times unless you're expecting to be really under the cosh. So I think a beater defence better. The midfield was made up of Mulligan and McGrath, two new signings who were welcomed, as and heralded as really strong signings.
Yep.
And then Dylan Levitt, who was a kind of key component of the turnaround last season. Or if Ian for the phone is listening, just the improvement in results, because he refuses to acknowledge it as a turnaround, because we were playing all right before the results changed. So the midfield wasn't looking too bad, and then with Bowie and Boyle, you've got everybody's expecting Bowie to have a good season this season. He's got the pre-season behind him. The injury worries are gone. This is really a sort of important season for him. And Boyle, who was top scorer, top assister last season as well. So I didn't really see that there's much room for improvement there in terms of the team selection. Does it, John? Would you think this looks like the team that we would expect to start against Michelin?
Good question. Maybe.
Not good a question.
I feel obvious when I thought.
It's one I don't know how to answer, because I think based on some of the reactions, some people may be looking for changes based upon the description of the performance.
Mm-hmm.
However, what I would ask is, how did Bolton play? What was their approach to the game? Were they kind of on the front foot? Were they more cagey? What was their approach to the game?
Bolton took it seriously. Like they were on the front foot. I thought Hibs probably started slightly the better of the two teams. We had a wee bit of pressure without creating too much, but then once Bolton settled into the game, it was pretty much played in our half in both halves of the game. Even when Bolton made, they pretty much changed the whole team partway through the second half, and they still looked stronger than us. We played a bit better after that. We made a couple of changes, but I thought the one thing I would say about Bolton, they used the wingers well, and both of their wingers looked good. We struggled to close them down. The boy that scored their first goal had a couple of chances before that were pretty much the same. It was just cutting in and firing across the goal. So you could see that goal coming. And they were physically very strong, big, like you would expect a League One team in England to be like.
The Championship, maybe, no?
Are they? I thought they'd just gone up to League One.
They might have won that league.
Did they? I'm not sure. I thought they were a League One team. You looking up, Colin? Aye, and I thought we struggled we struggled with the physicality. I think the only player post match that I think came close to winning their individual battles was Rocky. Well, Rocky was really good. Iredale maybe would have an argument about it, but
I didn't realise they were only a League One side. I thought they were a Championship side. I thought it was like we were playing somebody at a better level.
Nah, it was surprising, like how comfortable it was for Bolton. And a lot of that came down just to like the physical aspect. There was a few times we were trying to take them on.
Can I just clarify?
The ball.
When I say better level, I mean a better level in League One.
Yeah.
Because I don't think the Championship's even that good either. But I thought, though, I didn't think Bolton were as shite as that.
No.
That's what I meant. And also, their season starts the same week as us sometimes. So they'll be as ready as us. Well, we should be a wee bit readier. That's a word, because we've got the game on Thursday, but league games start at the same week. So normally when you catch an English team, they're a week behind or maybe even 2 weeks behind. So you've got a good chance. Maybe we beat Bolton years ago. I think Hibs shared it during the week. Went to that game and I used to go to pre-season games and we hammered them.
3-0.
Like 3-0,
goals in that game.
And they were in the Premier League in that time. But then they were about 2 weeks behind us. So you go, well, maybe it's because of that. But they're actually on par here and only in League One. So then you go, maybe it's not great. It's not a great result, eh?
So was it that Hibs were poor or Bolton are a better side, or a bit of both? A bit of both.
I think, John, what I would probably put it down to was, and maybe being kind on the players here, but it looked like we were playing with an eye on Thursday night. Like we weren't thundering into any challenges. We weren't like we just lacked that intensity of a competitive game. And obviously, it wasn't a competitive game; it was a friendly, and that's all about just getting the fitness up. But we didn't look like we were hell bent on winning the game. Do you know? It looked like players were. Nobody wants to miss Thursday night. Nobody wanted to go and stretch into a tackle or.
But they might miss it now, because to answer the question kindly that you asked John, that did look like a team that could have played on Thursday night. But if anything, they've got the jersey right, but they could lose it. And by playing shite yesterday and no trying or no sticking a leg, and I said no trying, not making the extra effort because it's no got the intensity or no bringing the intensity, they could play their out of the team.
Aye, this is true.
Was there any glaringly obvious mistakes that any of the Hibs players made? Like was it had they gifted Bolton 2 goals, or did Bolton score? And like, did they work themselves 2 goals?
The second goal was a gift. McIntyre just got caught in the ball. Like the ball came out to him, I think, for the goalkeeper, and he just stood with it, and the Bolton players took it off his toes and run through and goal and scored. You know, he looked absolutely devastated after it, and I think Rocky did well to go over and console him and just kind of get him to get on with it, because it was a really bad mistake, and for a young player just maybe not being up to speed with the game, just thought he had a bit more time than he had, and I was a really poor goal to lose. He could have done a shout for one of his teammates or something. You know, I don't know whether he never got the man on shout or what, but the first goal, we just never learned for that winger cutting in and taking the shot for the couple of times before. But it was good play. I would put that down to like a good goal rather than poor defending. Goalkeeper couldn't do anything with it. It's a good finish. You kind of, it's one of those ones I think you just have to hold your hands up and say it's a decent goal.
Yeah.
But
the reason I ask is that, like, we're obviously talking about it as a competitive football game, but we're also acknowledging, I think, Colin, you said that about one eye on Thursday night. You've got to imagine that there might be conversations with the coaching staff, with David Gray, etc., about like don't do anything silly. Like there's like it doesn't matter whether you win here or not. Like the bigger picture would be the £10 entrance fee and whatever. I assume that's going to charity or wherever it's going. That was the bigger picture. Like it wasn't about winning the game.
Aye.
You know what the worry for me is, like, now I've not paid a lot of attention. I've been away, right? But our pre-seasons, that's it. Like we're in the competitive games on Thursday, and it doesn't feel like we've done that one when we were on holiday, you know, in Spain or wherever they were this year. Holland wasn't it? And then they played Bournemouth in a bounce game. Then they played that sort of Rot-Weiss Essen, who are way down, you know, the levels in the German leagues. And then we've had we've had 2 games really. Like the bounce game was behind closed doors, not even cameras there. That was for other reasons, you know, like clubs working together and
One of the
all that.
hearts and
Yeah.
minds.
The one when they're away on holiday doing the running and that doesn't really count. That's just to get a ball back on the pitch, like when they're doing all their running and stuff. So we've had 2 games against pretty low league in their divisions that they're in, opposition, and now we're going to a big game on Thursday. I just feel maybe a wee bit undercooked.
I listened to David Gray, his press conference after the game yesterday, and he highlighted the quality of the opponents. If you think we played, and I think he's maybe been a wee bit kind on Bolton, right? So Bolton looked like a decent team, but I think we made them look better than they are. But we had Bournemouth and Ajax, and I can't remember the German team we played right at the start, but that was a 0-0. Ajax,
Duisburg.
Scud,
I forgot about that one.
Duisburg, yeah. And then we were 6-2 against Ajax, or 6-3, was it? 6-3. It was because we won the second half 2-1 and lost the first half 5-1. 6-3. Bournemouth beat us 2-0, I think, wasn't it? Or 2-1. Bowie scored there. So,
Mhm.
Bournemouth and Ajax are good teams to play. It's like a tough level. And I think, although Bolton aren't at that level, I think the way that it panned out, it was a tough game for the players that played because they weren't at it. Like they struggled to get into the game. And so it's probably been difficult, but the challenge has probably been there. Like you can benefit for that, I think, in the
I
long run
almost
when
feel,
it comes to the competitive game.
aye,
You know you can't be like no at it on Thursday night. Like if we play that on Thursday night, they'll put 4 or 5 past us.
I almost feel you're as well playing in the League Cup. Like
Do you?
you get the buy out of it. You're as well playing competitive games against Stirling Albion and shite like that because it's competitive. I say
It's
shite like that.
competitive.
No offence, because I know there's a Hibs fan that runs their. Is it Matt that runs
Aye.
all their stuff and has been noising the Hearts fans up this week? But it was just the one that came to head because I seen the result yesterday. But it's like we've not played any games and we got a competitive game. The League Cup's just about over, eh? Like or two-thirds of the way through or something.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like it was the same last year. Mind, like Celtic and that aren't even playing a game yet in Europe and they've got to buy through. It's like you're just playing games. You're scrapping about trying to find somebody to play, and that's what we've done. And you'd be as well
Mm-hmm.
having the structure of the a
The
competitive
competitive
draw.
games.
But then you've
Aye.
got you could go out as well because you'd be using it as pre-season. But we'll use it as pre-season anyway. So we lost to Kelly Hearts last year.
Well, it was this weekend last year that we lost to Kelty. So we know it's no like it's less catastrophic losing a friendly than it was, ultimately losing to Kelty. And we know it didn't really have that huge an impact on the season overall because we still finished third. So I think how much you can read into it. But Colin, how important is like building momentum in these games? Or like if we chalked up 4 wins, maybe played easier opponents, sorry, and got a few big scores, and then you're coming into Thursday with the momentum and the confidence. Is that better, or is it better to test yourself and maybe just take a few defeats on the way?
Probably better to test yourself, but halfway, I don't know. Like we've played harder teams, but I don't know where they are, and we've played 2 hard teams anyway. On paper, I've not seen the games, so I don't know like how hard they were. But I don't know if it's more. These games are all about getting players fit and getting the manager to maybe make decisions about who's going to who's putting the hand up to get picked because he'll have his team in mind going into the season, and then this is about players confirming that or changing his mind as well as proving their fitness and getting their fitness up. So I think the results matter that much. Like just didn't. But getting beat all the time doesn't help
Hmm.
because we've not. I'm not so mad because we have won. We'll beat Rock by Essen, eh?
Yeah,
Is that it? Aye.
aye,
So we've
that,
won one, right? So it's not a losing run. We've won one game. But I think that the results don't matter. Like I didn't, as I say, I didn't even go because it's the mass substitutions thing and all that in these games that gets on my tits. The momentum goes out. It's slow. It's training pace stuff. I can't be bothered with it. Like I used to get caught out with it every year and go back and then go, I'm not going back. And then 1 year I went, I'm not fucking doing it.
mhm,
And now I've got to the point where I didn't even watch it because it's shite. It's all about Thursday night. And then the following Thursday, but then is it Sunday, the week after, when we
aye.
start the league? That's what it's all about. But I just worry that Thursday, that we're not quite ready, just based on 5 games, fair enough. I just don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure.
I thought we were undercooked. That's how I thought. I thought Bolton looked sharper than us. But that was probably the bigger worry rather than the quality side of it. Although I think if it is a bigger worry, it's a really weird one when you come away from a game like that because you didn't know how much to read into it. Because you're right, pre-season is just about getting the minutes. We've got a huge game on Thursday.
The
So
manager's
you're like,
probably choosing is he got to change keepers? You know, he's brought a new keeper in. Is he
aye,
better than the one that was there last season? There's one decision he's going to have to make. Then he's thinking, is Abita done enough to get Nicky Cadden out the side? Has Nicky Cadden got to play somewhere else? With both these new boys, where do they fit in the team? Because presumably you buy new guys to play them, including the keeper.
Mhm.
But then did they do enough in these games to tick the box? You know, they'll be penciled in almost. Did he change formation? I seen something in a chat about him changing to 4 at the minute.
the sort of the formation changed through the game, and particularly when we made the second half. Subsamego came on, and we went to I think a 4-4-2 there. So we had Rocky and Teta. I think we're left in the middle, and Obita at left back. Like so, we went to 4. I think it was 4-4-2 at that point. To be fair, by that point there was so many changes I'd kind of lost
You
track,
lose it. That's the thing with these games. That's what I mean.
interest as well. Like because it was fucking
Yeah.
boring. Like this is the other thing. It's pissing with rain. You
When
see,
have you ever got to learn then? Like obviously that I saw the light a few years ago. I think that's when I went to. I was at a game with you. Was it Norwich?
aye,
We
we
got a
went to
free
that
one.
one.
I
Aye,
went together with you at that one, and I was like, I'm not coming back.
that
That
was
was when
when
McGeady got injured.
McGeady got injured in that year. And see, this is the thing. You can see why when like McGeady was out for the season or for a large chunk
But
of the
March or
season
something. Yeah.
after that injury, and you can see like you don't want to go to a club like a new club or and have your pre-season and be feeling great and then going right. This is the last one before the proper games start. Didn't do anything stupid. Like didn't go fucking sliding into attack or stretching when you didn't need to stretch or chasing the lost cause. Like all these things that you expect a player to be doing when the real thing starts. I totally get it. And even Gray in his post-match stuff was saying that the players were kind of caught between, almost like caught between systems. Like they were trying some stuff that they would do domestically, looking at like where they would press against better quality opponents. And he says it just none of it really worked because they hadn't really settled on what they were doing for that game. They were just trying different things, and I think they just looked like that. John, one of the things that kind of came out after it was a lot of people, the clamour for Triantis increased massively because we missed that link from defence to attack that Triantis sometimes gave us. Obviously, without having seen the game, and you know, like what the reaction has been like to yesterday's game, should Hibs be going all out to get Triantis in before the registration deadline on Wednesday?
Nah, I didn't see it. I didn't see it. Didn't see the game. I don't see the need to bring him in. Like I'm reading between the lines of what you're saying. You mentioned that Bolton made a number of changes. You mentioned a couple of players, and you mentioned that you'd lost track of the changes yourself. So that's like I don't think we are comparing like for like. We're not comparing two competitive games. We're getting worried about Thursday, a game that hasn't started yet. We're looking at a game that's just happened and what apparently didn't happen with multiple changes and systems taking place throughout the game. I think you need to see something settled, and even accept the fact that Triantis might be gone. Like
Yeah.
Triantis is not our player. Triantis was rumored to be going to, I think it was Werder Bremen. I think that was later debunked, but he's Sunderland's player. He's been named as a defender in their squad. They're taking 2 weeks over him. Like I mentioned this previously. We've got a game come up on Thursday. Like, so what happens? Like say for example, we get beat, and like do we suddenly go right? Let's put all our eggs into one basket and get Triantis in. Well, what then if Triantis doesn't make a difference? Like it just doesn't. I'm not seeing the I'm not seeing the need to have him right now. And I and to be perfectly honest, I think Hibs have probably moved on.
He doesn't want to come, eh? He's only got to come if they didn't want him. Like if he wanted to come, like it was all the lure of European football, all that. Well, that's Thursday night, mate. You've not signed yet.
Yep.
So I think we should just call it quits and just be looking elsewhere if we need that position filled.
And I think that's fair. Like I think there might be more attractive offers available to Triantis, but based on performances, based on what he could probably attract salary wise elsewhere, whether it's remaining at Sunderland or going elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
But at the moment, like I'm just I don't know. I'm not. I wouldn't say that, like, based on the games that we've seen so far, that we look like a completely different team without him. I don't think we're massively lacking without him, and I think I think we sometimes find ourselves in this position where we hanker after the thing that is gone rather than focusing on and working with what we have.
Mhm.
And what we have is Mulligan, Manny, McGrath, etc. in midfield.
On that point, then to I suppose to maybe talk about some of the new signings and how they got on. So Salinger came on for the second half. Smith played first half. He was fine. Salinger I thought was fine. The second half, he did concede the 2 goals, but I don't think he could do really anything with either of the goals. Other than that, he looked pretty assured. Kicking was good, handling was good, as was Smith's in the first half. Chris Cadden nearly scored, I think, two own goals in the game. Hit the post with one of them, and Smith did quite well to kind of go and pick up the rebound there. Mulligan, I thought, was really quiet. I was kind of quite looking forward to seeing him, probably more than anybody else, the featured, just because he's the sort of player that I like, but he's never really got into the game at all. I don't know.
In the midfield three, you said, yeah.
Aye, he picked up the ball in some good areas, and first half he was all right. He wasn't dreadful, but there was a lot of the game passed him by. McGrath got the sponsors man of the match, which I think probably should have gone to Rocky, but McGrath was all right as well. He was probably out of the 3 midfielders was probably the best one. And Cleese came on for the last 5-10 minutes, and he looked all right. He picked up the ball a couple of times, put one pass out wide for I think it was right, Yuan or Hoylett, like whoever was on the right at that time. I can't quite remember who it was to sort of create a bit of a chance. But it wasn't enough time to get a really good look at how he'd be. Well, obviously, like, it's only 10 minutes and it's his first appearance, so we'll wait and see. He looked quite quick, which I think will be a benefit. Other than that, Yuan did quite well when he came on. Like again, he gets folk are really ready to criticise him as well. Like really ready. You could sense it when he came on the first time he lost the ball. There was like same with Josh Campbell. Like
Weird, didn't it?
Aye, it's like
The more things change, the more they stay the same.
It's just like the knives are out. And I suppose the other one I kind of to discuss was Manny, who came on in the second half as well. Now he's probably the most likely to fill that Triantis role until, like, I guess Newell coming back into the team. Like Newell and Triantis are quite the same players, but
who was filling it on Saturday? Was it Levitt?
Aye, so between Levitt and Mulligan,
right.
I guess it was probably more on Mulligan to fill it on Levitt. Levitt played his usual sort of pivot or quarterback or whatever you can call it, kind of number 6 position.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Manny looked all right when he came on as well. I didn't think he did anything great. Didn't really do anything terrible. There was one moment he lost the ball in the second half, but he lost it trying to do something that would have been brilliant if it come off, like just one of these, like, drop the shoulder and kind of just dribble around out of trouble. And he almost did it, and it would have been one of these ones that if it come off, everyone went, "Oh, fucking brilliant!" Can give him a good clap on that. As it was, he lost the ball, so it ended up not being very good. But I'd rather they tried these things than no. So I think we'll probably wrap up the chat on the pre-season friendly there. It was good to see Darren McGregor come out. Lewis and Paul were there as well. Obviously, like they're never escaping Hibs, are they? Like,
I was going to say they don't have a game.
Nah, they played on, I think I played through the week anyway. I think we'll beat Fight East Kilbride.
Oh,
4-2. That was a mental game. They were 2-1 up. They went 2-1 up in 87th minute or something like that.
Because they've got a young laddies playing for them now or something. Seen that?
Aye. Right, let's pick up a couple of comments. Stevie said it was at the Celtic Newcastle game yesterday. Over the 2 halves, Newcastle played a full team minus Hall, Livramento, and Isaac. Celtic were very decent after they went 1-0 up. Ron said pre-season is just that, less competitive than a real game, all about getting minutes into legs and remaining injury free. Kieran said, when I watched the Ajax game, I thought it's Ajax. We'll not play them every week. Yesterday we made Bolton look like Ajax, which is worrying. That's a fair point. Ian said pre-season friendly games are great to win, but it's not drastic to lose. As long as the players use the games to sharpen their fitness and gameplay, that's all that matters. Chris said, wonder if Gray is looking to go back to 4 at the back. Seems to be us playing it more often again. It'd be interesting. I think, I don't know why you would. Do you know, like when the three worked so well for us and suited the team, why would you then go back to a four? I don't know. Seriously, did anyone play well for Hibs yesterday, or was it a total shit show? More of the latter. I think Rock had a good game, Stevie. Me said, do we think yesterday's starting team will be Thursday's, John? I think you covered that one. Kieran said, O'Hora can't play that position. He can't defend wide. He'll leave Chris Cannon up against two players because he's too deep and narrow. He also doesn't overlap because he's not capable. I don't know if that's, I think he'll be as capable of overlap. Would you agree with that, Colin?
Obia, aye, definitely. Who's it was? I thought it was O'Hora. He said wasn't capable.
Did I misread that? Sorry. O'Hora can't. Yeah, I beg your pardon, Kieran. I read it and I saw another. I saw a beater rather than O'Hora. Thinking how that happens. It's been a long day. Stevie said Bolton have been League One for a while. And Kieran said, I think Clegia had one touch, nothing to do with him, though Boyle was throwing his hands up the whole game, which was worrying. Boyle was really quiet in the game. I think he kind of got on the ball a couple of times and didn't really do anything with it. We looked really poor in an attacking sense. Just didn't offer anything at all. We did go out for some talking points, so let me just quickly rattle through a couple of these before we move on as well.
Just the one you put the comments on it so folk couldn't reply.
It came out. I done I think if you saw what Salford did, so Salford took the team off. One of the players got racially abused, and they took the team off. And then they put like a wee video sort of explaining it and talking to a couple of the black players there and their experiences. And I thought it was worthy sharing it. I was like, it's equally inspiring and depressing. It's inspiring that they did something about it, depressing that it fucking happens anyway. And this was just making the point that it's like it's not just a football problem, it's like a societal thing because like everyone's fucking driven by folk wanting division. Like you've got politicians and media that want you to blame anybody who's different for your problems. But I thought I'll turn the comments off to that because it just invites the fucking wahoos.
It does. Yeah. They're rife out there on Twitter, eh?
Aye. And one of the points I made was it's like they'll try to convince you that like you can say racist things without being racist, but no, you're still racist if you.
I've said that to you before. I think it's quite mad. Like years ago, like when people have always been racist, but there was a period probably in the 90s and that early 2000s where people were racist, but they didn't really they wouldn't want to say it. Now they're like, I'm racist, and I'm going to tell you I'm racist.
Aye.
It's weird. It's wild that it's changed.
Well, what was mad? So I put that. I thought I'll turn the comments off, but I didn't realise it keeps the comments off the tweets that you do after it. But the point about the media trying to get you to blame folk who are different, and that is when in the Tesco just after I was actually tweeting as I was walking up to Tesco and I went in, and there was like the newspaper stand, and it was the Daily Mail, of course. It's like now ban police from Pride marches. Like, fucking, is that the most important thing you've got? Fucking, aye. Keep them away from folk who want to be proud. Fucking nonsense, man. Anyway, right. Back to the Hibs and off the soapbox there. Ladij said Bolton came to play and win, putting 2 on Boyle in the first half, even when they were attacking with corners, etc. Thought we could have been a bit more adventurous, entertaining, as it was a testimonial. Wasn't impressed with those that fled for the exits when the second went in. There was like quite a lot of folk just got up and left, and also some folk booing at the end as well, which was fucking wild. Like pre-season, come on, folks.
Do we need to? Do you think the club maybe need to do something different with testimonials? Like Colin's obviously, well, not necessarily, but you've obviously, Colin, outlined your objection to them, like the fanning about with substitutes or whatever. Like once upon a time, testimonials used to be a bit of a laugh. So like David Gray's testimonial, I think, was a wee bit of a laugh. Like he got the customary penalty.
Aye,
like
and Brian McClare with shoes
on. What was the other one? There was the other testimonial. So you had like Bobby Pires and Patrick Vieira turning out for Hibs. I wasn't actually at that game.
Was Ian Murray?
Protest against Ian Murray's
one, aye.
But I'm trying to think of others.
Didn't go to that one either.
Oh, so sorry. But the point I was going to make was about I think it was Stevenson's testimonial when they got, was it Blackburn up? Like Stevenson doesn't give a fuck about Blackburn Rovers. So
They just
I
tagged it
would.
as his testimonial. They just used a pre-season game as his testimonial. Like
They
was
did
nothing
it with
to do with
someone else, I'm sure. Sunderland, I think. I might be misremembering that, but it was Sunderland, I think, when Hibs were in the Championship. But make testimonials fun again. Like, didn't treat them as fucking bullshit pre-season friendlies. And I realised that it takes away like
Was
stuff
Hanlon's
for us
no?
to talk about.
Hanlon's was the same. I'm sure it was against
Aye.
I
just a
just,
championship team or something that may have been
but
Blackburn. Maybe I don't know.
it's just completely. It just, I don't know, like it sort of sets the wrong tone. Like folk are getting upset because we got beat off Bolton in a testimonial. Well, is it a testimonial or is that a competitive game? Is it a meaningless game or is it a meaningful game? I think it was a meaningless game, albeit it was there to celebrate Darren McGregor's contribution to the club. But otherwise, the result means nothing.
But see if he hadn't been in that car crash, was he getting on the pitch yesterday?
Who would have come on for the last few minutes or started the game and then got subbed off?
Aye.
Do you know?
If it had lost 2-0 still with folk that you would have said, we've just put the youth fucking under 18 coach on him.
Aye, okay, it does change the complexion of it.
We need to
Should have got
we
Gareth
need
Evans on
to
or something instead then. Like,
need to
We just need to start marketing the games like it was only a tenner as well, right? So you bear in mind Hibs having charged it like it was a fucking competitive game. Only a tenner. They're really clear it was Darren McGregor's testimonial, but do you think we just need to put like a wee caveat on this? It'll be pish. Come on, you'll be happy to be back.
have a
We'll
laugh.
make it as good as it can.
Matty,
It will
I
be
would
pish though.
I would be
£10, please.
delighted. I would be delighted with that if they put that on. Even bring back paper tickets. Paper tickets, £10. It'll be pish.
It'll
Like
be
no
pish.
terms and conditions on the back. Rule number one, probably be pish. Don't know what
And
to
we are
do.
getting a penalty at 88 minutes.
Aye.
Right.
That's what you're meant to do. Like
How did they not even get McGregor on for just even in his
just to take the
gutters?
penalty.
Aye, just to take a penalty, just to
Yeah.
make it's not a testimonial if the person whose testimonial it is doesn't get a penalty.
Aye, they got him out to wave to the crowd and had old captains and everything. Like it was nice for McGregor. Like for that side, things there's no complaints, but they just need to remind everybody. It's just a kickabout. Like don't know if I can read too much into it. It doesn't certainly didn't if I could full podcast on it as we're dead.
We've just got 45
Okay,
minutes
well,
on
we'll
a
do like
meaningless
10 minutes on it because it
house
wasn't
game.
important. I've still got like fucking talking points to get through. JK1976 said, I'm worried about Thursday. We look nowhere near ready. And why have we wasted all summer waiting on Triantis? Because that midfield does not look equipped to deal with Midtjylland. I know it was only a friendly, but we were awful.
Could we delve into that one a wee bit more? Like there was a point or a question made earlier and we were talking about momentum and like opposition and what have you. If we'd played, as Colin has suggested, just for argument's sake, group stage, League Cup football, group stage, Stirling Albion, I don't know, Alloa, whoever it is that Dundee have been beaten by. If we had beaten those teams comfortably, as much as that may build momentum in terms of what the players are doing, Midtjylland at a higher level, are we more equipped playing Midtjylland on Thursday by having played superior opposition in the form of Bolton, Ajax, etc.? Like, have we had a progression, albeit the results haven't been there? Have we had a progression in terms of the sort of level that we're going to come up against on Thursday?
Well, you would hope so. That kind of goes back to the question I asked earlier on. Like, is it better to have play the tougher games than squishing them? Because it didn't help us last season when we were in the League Cup. We only had that. Like we had that one disastrous result, right? The one that with Kelty where everybody lost their shit. But actually, all the other games in that group are like really comfortable wins where we played good football and we squished it. Didn't help us though. Like we started the season awfully, and you know there was folks shouting for the manager to get sacked and everything by the time we got to October, and you know before the turnaround happened. So I didn't care what the answer is with it. Belgium Lasker said, bit of a nothing game and not much you can really tell from it. Better first half and second. Axel F said, we looked like we did in the games when Gray took charge. Still early days. Thursday's a biggie. 6 at the back. Bandyleg said, Smith or Salinger. Do you either have a preference?
I've not seen the new boy. I just assumed he would come in as first choice. Like, you know, I assume we'd be buying better than what we've got. But if Smith's done well in pre-season, then it's still Smith's jersey. Yeah, I don't know. Not seen him.
Yeah, I was going to say much the same. It's Smith's jersey to lose.
What we need is Salinger's mum to get on Twitter as well, just to make it properly competitive, and then you get the
Hibs does love
popularity and the and the talent coming through as well. Kieran said, I thought it was a bit worrying, to be honest. Played a full team and got schooled. No shots on target. Unlucky we didn't get beat by 4+. Coldingham Hibs said, we look like we haven't played together before. No system and no flow. We create nothing in the final third because we're constantly sitting deep. Very underwhelming so far and worrying for next week. Brian Mitchell said, very poor up front. No creativity in midfield and can't defend. There were no positives to take from the game. Hopefully switch on when the competitive games start. We definitely need another striker at the very least. Spot said, how much longer are we waiting on Nectar? If he wants to be here, he would be. Waiting on him is costing us badly. We need to replace him now. Midfield looks so bad, like before he came. Thursdays looks scary. Ryan said, don't think today tells us anything different. Triantis type or a target man striker needed. Would be wanting a right centre back too if Miller is away. Looks a bit weak with O'Hara and Cadden on the same side. Just look too open and easy to get at there. Fabrav said, can't play without a ball winner in midfield. Mane has to play in the expense of one of the starting trio yesterday. Luke said, not convinced with McGrath. Can tell Mulligan is a good player. I don't think he should be playing as a 6. And Dan said, no harm done. Roll on Thursday. So looking ahead to Thursday then, Colin, how are you feeling for it?
I don't know, because this seems supposed to be decent, eh? I watched the phone in at the... When was it? Thursday? Aye, Thursday night. I put it on just as Ian was talking through how good they are, how many millions they've spent. And obviously,
worrying, eh?
I think they drew 3-3 today.
They did.
They're multi-million pound strike force, scoring loads of goals. I think that's in the Patreon chat, isn't it? I can't remember. Can't name check the person that put it in, but that's where
it's also on the YouTube chat as well. There's a Green Tea called it out as well. Yep. This is Gary.
So I don't know. I do feel like we're maybe not quite ready. Whether they are though, I don't know, because they obviously lost 3 goals themselves today. Hopefully we can just keep it tight and give us a chance in the home leg. That's kind of where I'm with.
I think it was Stevie said Midtjylland are probably somewhere in the middle between Bolton and Bournemouth. I do fear for us on Thursday. Jonathan, in between Bournemouth and Bolton, I think we can geographically where that would place you. What is that about?
About Edinburgh, I think.
No, in the middle.
No, between Bournemouth and Bolton.
Sorry, I was thinking
like,
Bournemouth
maybe like Leicester or
London
somewhere.
or something.
Somewhere like that, I think. How are you feeling for Thursday?
Probably neither up nor down. It's just it's the next game. Like I'm not going to say that we're going to get gubbed, and I'm not going to say that we're going to go there and scoosh it. Like it's going to be a competitive game. I'd like to think that Hibs have got a plan in mind, and that's the reason why we've played the teams that we have. Hopefully, yesterday, despite my comments about the game and being meaningless, there was obviously things that Gray and the team had tried based on Gray's comments after the game. So hopefully, if they've discovered that 4 doesn't work, then they revert to the 3. I think 3 is a reasonable 3 at the back, 5 midfield is a good way to go away from home. And I think one of the reasons why I'd asked the question at the start of the game about how Bolton had played was I think that Hibs had done well last season, soaking up pressure and hitting teams in the break. And hopefully that's how Thursday turns out, and it plays in our favour.
Halfway's Coventry.
Is it? There you go.
Just for everybody sitting there googling, and I've done it for years.
You will get sent to Coventry. I think the big thing is that we're still in the tie after Thursday, isn't it? Like I don't think it'll be a successful night for us. Like I'm a bit worried about it. It's really funny. I was looking forward to more prior to yesterday, but I haven't watched us yesterday. Yes, it was like the games we had last season where the team just didn't turn up and you were coming away going, what the fuck was that? That was, but maybe we've got that one out of our system now, because we tended to follow, once we got going, we did have a couple of them, but we followed them up with really good performances. It was like the Ross County game where Gale scored just before half time and we ended up winning. It was like that, but without the winning, but without anything going near their goal. But we followed, I think it was like a 4-0 win or something like that, the game after that. Trying to remember, sure we talked about it last week, John, but my fucking memory's shite. So,
can't mind. I'm trying to scroll through
No,
Wikipedia might
it
find
doesn't matter. The point I'm making is that we've got a bit of history of having these sort of really bad performances and then pulling a really good one out of the bag. So if we do that, I think from what I gather, I think Midtjylland are probably about like Celtic's level, like Rangers Celtic, sort of maybe between the two of them. Bit better than Rangers, not quite as good as Celtic. We can, like 9 times out of 10 we'll lose those games, but we do have the 1 out of 10 where we beat them. And so I think try to come back to Easter Road's still in the game. Like, no, did they come back with like a 3-goal deficit to turn around? Because we'll just not do that. But like 1 or 2 goals out and we're still in it, then you never know. So that's kind of my hope for it. Do you see us making any more signings between now and then, John?
I don't know what difference it might make to Thursday's game if we did make signings. I think I saw something about we've only got a couple of days left to register a European squad. So
Somebody put in the chat in the comments it's too late now anyway to register anybody.
No, you can add 2 the day up to the day before.
Okay.
As long as it doesn't impact your homegrown quota, I think. So
okay.
So I don't know. I think there's. I don't think I want us to sign anyone before Thursday, like or even like in the scenario that you paint, Matty, where it's like right up until the day before, because well, what's that going to do to our preparations? Just by chucking someone in at the last minute. So no, I'd rather go with what we have at the moment.
Would you agree with that, Colin?
I don't think anybody new that comes in would be in the squad, like John says. So they might sign somebody, but I can't see them impacting any minutes on Thursday night. But I'm all for signing more players because I still think we don't know what this new striker's like. I know you said, what did you say, he got 10 minutes yesterday. So he might be ready for more on Thursday, like a half or something. But whether we chuck strikers on, we might go 3-6-1 or 4-5-1 or something on. Maybe we went to 4 at the back to try a 4-5-1 for Thursday night. So I don't think anybody new coming in would do that, would impact it. Unless it was Triantis who would maybe come straight into the team, but by the looks of it, I don't think he's coming back. Like we've already kind of covered that, but he seems to be getting games at Sunderland in that pre-season now. So we're probably waiting on them signing somebody, and then they would want rid.
Okay, right. Well, we'll talk about it more in extra time tomorrow. We'll also, Neil Renton sent in a question. I'll ask you this one now, right? We'll not necessarily take this to extra time because I think it's got a full episode in it, especially when we've got a big game to preview. Most random transfer rumour coming to Hibs. John,
Theo
what's
Walcott.
Theo Walcott? This was the summer where we signed Walcott, wasn't it?
You think somebody misheard that?
I reckon that's what's happened there.
Yeah.
It's like someone's got their wires crossed.
That would have been. Was there no one about Wayne Rooney being up for manager talks at one point? The helicopter landed at the golf course and stuff.
It was his wife gone shopping. There was like somebody explaining it, but I don't know if that's even remotely true.
Yeah, and then there was it Reyes? Was that the one that started on Hibs.net? It was on the 26 bus or something.
Aye.
Like an Arsenal player in that.
Aye.
On the 26 to the pants.
Stevie's just mentioned Andy Carroll there. You get some wild ones there, like Colin, you'll remember Julian Brelli gets getting touted for Hibs.
I remember that one.
Aye.
Because I made that one up.
Yep. That was one of my favourites as well. It was in the paper and everything.
I know. That was when I started doubting myself when Fellingham phoned me and said, as he said, it wasn't because it was in the paper as well, but his mate who used to work at Hibs used to have a cleaning business or something, and he was he kens because he's doing the club all the time and that, and I'm like, did I make that up? And it's actually true. But obviously it was never true. I just touted it. Mine Top 107. They were a useful resource in the days to spread stuff.
Chris Black said there was one where we were going to sign Lentini. Can't mind of that. David Platt was rumoured to sign for us years ago. Alec Miller. Aye, but I think we wouldn't stump up the money for him.
Is that the boy that was like the world record signing at one point for AC Milan and was in a car crash?
Aye, I think it was. That was his name. Sure it was. Well, it's the same one. Like, I don't know if there's two of them.
Right, we've got
were we getting Lentini before or after the car crash?
Oh, we've been post, I would have thought. Right, 3 games to talk about for last season. We've got so we were into April, started April, 2-0 win at Ibrox. John, memories of that game?
I'm trying. I think Levitt's goal, did that go? Is that where Butland's made an arse of it? It's gone kind of like right through his legs
Oh,
or like
Butland. Yep.
under his arms or something. I
Mm.
know that sounds daft as a goalkeeper, but you know that way that sometimes it gets sort of in their armpit area, sort of area. And then I think the second goal was Boyle, and it had a VAR review, but it was actually a really good ball for Jordan Abita.
Aye, there was
Did
debate
it?
about that. There was
Aye.
it was Boyle was in his own half, and folk were trying to claim Obita meant it to go where it did, but it clearly fucking didn't he? Because he hit it with his right foot, mind. He shanked it, and Boyle made it look good.
I think he was going for that general direction, but the pass
Does he?
the pass
Honestly,
pass
it's
ended
got
up much.
neutral. Oh, if you ask a there's no way he meant that. No way he meant that. Oh, his right foot. Not a fucking hope.
It was a cracking finish for Boyle. That was a massive result in the grand scheme of things, like because we were expecting to lose. Like we talked about it, you thought kind of got Ibrox unlikely will win, and I think Aberdeen got a late winner if I'm right that weekend as well, and so they were probably thinking this is like a weekend where they could catch us, and I think we'd gone ahead of them by this time, or it was kind of close, but they would definitely would either been looking to extend the gap or close the gap. And in the end, they never, because they got the result, but I'm sure we got, well, no, definitely we got the result. I think they did as well, and it took the win right out of their sails. Then we had Dundee next, Easter Road, 4-0. 4-0 win there, and that was like piss easy, that game, Colin, wasn't it?
That was the daisy. I was still thinking about the Rangers game because I remember Barry Ferguson's rant after it. I'm not accepting that and all that stuff. Kevin, he was totally playing at the cameras all the time. And
Aye.
Aye, Dundee. It was a hammering, eh? I'm just looking it up now. I remember we hammered them and thought they were fucking shite. Like, we were good at the time as well. Like, don't think I'm down in Hibs here, but Dundee were really struggling there, eh? Bashiri scored Bowie 2 and Gill. I can't remember much about it. Other than it was like dead easy. Just a dead easy routine home win.
Aye, it was like really, really, really comfortable. John, do you remember
Ah.
much about it?
Nah, probably about the same, to be honest.
Just looking
Very
at it.
little.
Notable for us equaling the record, wasn't it? Like this for
Was it that game? Right.
unbeaten record that, and I think a lot of us went to Easter Road that day with like a wee bit of trepidation because the record was up for grabs, because Dundee had that sort of 4-1 at Dens right at the start of the run. It was like one of these ones you're going, fucking, we've just beat Rangers, are we going to fuck it up today? But it was never in doubt. Like we were just so good start to finish in that game. We were miles better than them.
Yeah, this is the game where Tony Dock talked about Hibs' reputation. Mind,
Aye, right
whether
enough,
it was down to Hibs, he said whether that was down to Hibs' reputation, but we certainly addressed that at half time. Because it was, and we were like, what did he mean? It was only 1-0 at half time, but it was like they were overawed. And it was like they were just there to make the numbers up, like they turned up maybe when they got to Parkhead or Ibrox when Rangers are good.
Somebody's telling me Easter Road's a hard place to go.
Aye, and they were just totally off the game. But then he says we'd certainly addressed it at half time, and they lost 3 goals in the second half. So fuck knows what he meant by it.
Well addressed. And then we rounded off April with the run came to an end. It was that 1-0 defeat at Pittodrie. John, is Kevin Nisbet goal. Do you remember much about that game?
I remember the goal. This was a period, I think, where I was kind of very, very busy with exams and things, so I wasn't getting to see as much of the football as I would have liked. But I do remember Nisbet's goal that won it for them. I couldn't tell you much about Hibs' performance, but I think Nisbet's goal showcased him at his best.
That was a
It was
cracking
quite an instinctive finish. Not just instinctive, actually, quite creative. But the rest of it, I couldn't really say.
I can't make much of it. I think we were that great. I think it was a pretty shite game, eh?
We were on top. I thought we looked like the better team, and Aberdeen almost scored against the run of play. Well,
this is where they thought they had. This was you just got to say that. If I just stole your thunder,
I know, on you go.
This is where Nisbet, when they had them Nisbet standing in front of the fans and that, and they were Hibs in it, and that's the end of it, and blah blah blah, and then then they just
They finished 5th.
whimpered away and
Aye.
dropped in the league.
We
It was
got
like that was their cup final. They're in the league.
we got absolutely fucking hammered on our Twitter after it.
Give us
Aberdeen
a
fans
load of
over the
bookmarks,
place.
though.
It was brilliant for the bookmarks. But how they were going to do this and that, and the next thing is, and fucking we were never going to finish third and all this. And
Yeah. Did they get to 3 points? Yes, is that where they got to? Was it? I'm sure we were still quite far ahead of them with goal difference as well.
They were talking about us Hibs in it. Like that was like you balled it and Hibs it, and you're like, you were 26 points ahead of us, and you have won that game and you're still behind us. Thinking how you can fucking reference Hibs in it. Yeah, fucking fannies. And you're fannies if you're listening as well. Fucking arseholes. Anyway, right, we will wrap up there. We've got extra time tomorrow for subscribers, but we'll look ahead to.
Can we dissect that goal, the Boyle goal at Ibrox? Because I've seen some comments there in the chat, and there's people actually trying to say he meant it. And
no, he definitely he was clearing the ball up, but I think
he was kicking it up towards Boyle, but what he done was shanked it away there, and Boyle was quick enough to get across to
it. He was. And run for his own half as well. So although again another one calling where VAR has rectified a fucking massive mistake that went and would have went against us at Ibrox, but was corrected by the technology. Right, extra time tomorrow for subscribers. You can sign up right here on YouTube. You just hit the wee join button, or you can go to Patreon. You can sign up there as well. And don't forget to check out our Redbubble store. We've got loads of new designs in there as well, so you can help yourself to a t-shirt or a hat or a fucking mouse mat or a phone case or whatever the hell you fancy. It's all good stuff. It's all good stuff as well. We've been seeing them out and about in the wild, which has been good to see. Thanks, obviously, for everybody who's tuned in and left comments, and we will catch you all